Okay, so we are now to the final 4 games of the Packers season, sitting here at the beginning of December. Luckily, the game is still somewhat meaningful. We have to win the rest of our games to make the playoffs and have lots of other teams help us by losing, but at least we have a small slimmer of hope. And coming in on Monday, the Packers got to take care of business against the Los Angeles Rams, who are depleted on many different fronts, especially on the offense, losing Matthew Stafford, who's been dealing with an injury, Cooper Kupp, as well as Allen Robinson out for the year. The Rams have struggled after winning their Super Bowl this past year. The big change, of course, for the Rams is Baker Mayfield coming in last week on short notice and somehow coming in the final minute of the game, driving the Rams 98 yards down the field to pull off that victory. And as someone who's watched Baker Mayfield for a while, I was happy to see him have that moment of success because he's definitely gone through lots of different things through his career, being with the Browns, being with the Panthers, now with the Rams. So I was excited for him to pull off that victory against the Raiders. But this week, I really think when you look at this Rams offense, the Packers defense, we have struggled a lot this year. And so, well, I'd like to say we are going to shut down this Rams offense because I think that they haven't been incredible this year. They have probably been one of the worst offenses in the NFL. Right now, the 29th ranked scoring offense in the NFL. They're 31st in rush yards per attempt at only 3.7 yards per carry, and they're now without some of their, best weapons. They were somehow able to pull it off last week with Baker Mayfield coming in, and maybe they're still sort of hot off that win, a little fired up with Baker Mayfield being in there. But I think when you look at this Packers defense, we have struggled a lot this year. We have not been as good as we thought we would be. We're the 30th ranked rushing D in the NFL in yards per carry at about 5 yards per carry. So even though the Rams haven't been good at running the ball, that doesn't mean they can't run it on the Packers. Most people have been able to. Let's hope that this week the defensive line can come in there, control the line of scrimmage, which they haven't really been able to do a majority of the year, and hold this Rams offense in check, especially on the ground. Because I think Baker Mayfield, he has his moments of looking really solid, looking really great. He's a tough athlete. He can do what it takes to win at certain moments, as we saw last week. But he's still a quarterback who at times is likely going to put the ball in harm's way, and the Packers will just need to take advantage of that coming in this week. When we do look at one other area of this Packers defense that really hasn't lived up to, I guess, the similar result as last year, right now, the Packers have the 26th ranked defense when it comes to sacks per game, only averaging about 1.8 sacks per game. Of course, losing Rashawn Gary this past month has not helped, losing one of the best edge rushers in the NFL, unfortunately. But if we take a look at Preston Smith, he's had I'd say, somewhat down season compared to last year. Right now, 33 pressures and 7 sacks. If he continues at this pace, he'll finish the year with 43 pressures. If you compare that to last year, he had 63 pressures. So a good amount of decline there when it comes to pressures. Overall in sacks, he's sort of on pace, but I feel like, of course, sacks are the most important because when you get to the QB, that you're affecting the quarterback completely. But at the same time, I think pressures are a good stat to look at to really see how much consistent pressure you're getting on the opposing quarterback. And Preston Smith hasn't done as much there last year or this year. And so with Rashawn Gary out, Kingsley Enagbare, JJ Enagbare has, I think, done well at times, but there's still some lack of depth, I think, there on the edge for the Packers. So, however, the Rams do have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. And so when you look at that, this should be a game where if the Packers do get pressure, this should be a game where we should be able to do that because their offensive line has struggled consistently this entire season. The one area of this Packers team that I've been pretty excited about this past month is this Packers offense because to start the year, we were so stagnant. We could barely ever get anything going. And starting with the Cowboys game where we come in, win that game, that was amazing. Christian Watson, of course, comes in, has his 3-touchdown game, and since then has been on a roll. This Packers offense has been one of the best in the NFL. If we look at weeks 10 to 13, they average about 27 points per game, which was 4th best in the NFL. So with Christian Watson coming in this past month, playing as he has, Aaron Rodgers, even though he's dealt with lots of different injuries, his thumb injury, his rib injury, he's been able to play through that. And now the Packers are coming off a extra week of rest, having their bye week. Aaron Rodgers seems to be feeling a little bit better than he has in weeks past after having, basically 2 weeks to rest. And he was even seen, I think, on Tuesday without the tape on his thumb. So with Rodgers hopefully feeling a little bit better, with Christian Watson playing as he has, we also have to add in the fact that Romeo Doubs, he said earlier this week that he expects to play on Monday. And since Christian Watson has really erupted and started playing at a very high level, we haven't had Romeo Doubs also on the field next to him. So if Romeo Doubs is able to play Monday, which it looks like he should, this Packers offense will have even more, I think, juice on the in the wide receiver room, which should help because we've seen what Romeo Doubs can do. We've seen moments of him flashing and playing really, really well. I think he has around 300 to 400 yards so far this season, but he has missed the past month. So I'm excited to have Romeo Doubs back alongside Christian Watson, and I think when you look at those guys going forward, they're going to be the one of the foundational pieces of this Packers team, this Packers offense. They're still in year one, and Christian Watson's already starting to show just how good he can be. If we take a look at the Rams defense so far this year, they're the 16th ranked scoring defense in the NFL. They are the 4th best running defense in the NFL in yards per carry, so they've been pretty good at stopping the run. The Packers, on the other hand, have been pretty solid in the running game this year. We're 12th in rush yards per game and 7th in rush yards per carry. So I expect the Packers to try to, pound the rock, especially with it being in Lambeau Field. I put out on my Instagram earlier today that the high is 19, the low is 5. It will be at night, so it's going to be a very, very chilly game. And so I feel like this could be one of those games where the Packers, try to run the ball a ton, feed A.J. Dillon. Hopefully, if we get up fast, we can really rely on the run, control the clock, and really force the Rams to have to come up and tackle A.J. Dillon, which in, 5-10 degrees can't be fun whatsoever. So the Rams have had a good run D this year, though, and we'll see if the Packers are able to get going. One area where I feel like the Packers have been a lot better in the past month as well, which has really led to this team, putting up more points than we did to start the year, is the offensive line has played pretty solid. We look last week, we only allowed 2 pressures against the Bears. They are the Bears, but still, we played pretty solid. David Bakhtiari still dealing with that. He had an appendectomy, which means he could still miss a couple more games. But 4th-round rookie Zach Tom has come in, played really well at left tackle. Last week only allowed 1 pressure. And so the Packers' offensive line has done a pretty solid job this past month or so of protecting Aaron Rodgers, and I feel like coming in here, hopefully we can keep that up. But overall, I think this is a game the Packers should be able to win. As I've said, there's been lots of games we should have won this year that we didn't win. So I'm not going to come in here and say we're 100% winning, but with it being at Lambeau Field in the cold, I think in an environment that Aaron Rodgers loves, Rodgers seemingly being a little bit healthier, hopefully we can come in and pull off this victory. Hopefully a few other teams like the Giants, Commanders, Seahawks lose. The Seahawks play tonight. I'm cheering for the 49ers, so the Seahawks can hopefully slide down the ranks. It is crazy that there's still a chance for us to make the playoffs, but we do have to win 4 games in a row, which could be tough, but I believe I will still, I'm a Packers fan till the end, so I'm going to keep rooting for us to make the playoffs, even though it's like a, 10% chance, 9% chance. We'll see. Hopefully things can go our way, but feel free to let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments down below. If you haven't subscribed to my Packers newsletter, I'll probably be putting something else out tomorrow. I put another one out yesterday, and lots of you guys have been subscribing there, so I appreciate all you guys who have done that. But that's pretty much all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.